Thinking about next season yet? The ECHL is. We have the details about the 21-22 schedule. We catch up with the coach, who spent this season on the sidelines. And a memorable night for an Eastern Conference player. We'll have the skinny. The new edition of ECHL Week starts right now.
Hi, welcome to ECHL Week. I'm Barry Schickling. We're happy to direct our lead story today to ECHL fans everywhere. The 2021-22 regular season schedule has been announced. Let the countdown begin. The 34th season of the league will start on Thursday, October 21st.
Among the highlights for next season will be 11 teams returning to the ice after a pandemic-caused hiatus, the debuts of teams in both Coralville, Iowa and Trois-Rivières, Quebec, and a return to a 27-team league for the first time since the 2018-19 season. Opening night will be extra special. Not only will the team in Trois-Rivières host the Newfoundland Growlers in its first game, it'll be the first ECHL matchup in Quebec province, as well as the premiere of the league in the recently completed Le Nouveau Colisée. On the following night, October 22nd, next season's other new team, Iowa, will debut at home against Kansas City. Also that night, Idaho, Maine, Norfolk, Reading, and Worcester will return to the ice after a 19-month hiatus. The other 5 teams which opted out for the current season are scheduled to return to the ice the next night, Saturday, October 22nd. Those teams are Adirondack, Atlanta, Cincinnati, Kalamazoo, and Toledo. The final 3 teams to open their home schedules for 21-22 will do so on Saturday, November 6th. Those teams are Jacksonville, Toledo, and Wheeling. As has been the case in the past few traditional seasons, there will be plenty of interconference play. Iowa in the West and Maine in the East are the only teams which will not play at least one game against an opposing conference club. The All-Star Classic is scheduled to make a return on Monday, January 17th, 2022. The Jacksonville Icemen will host the 26th version of the event, which was not staged this year. Of course, one of the most notable events of the regular season figures to be the 3rd and 4th ECHL games to be played outdoors. Toledo will host Kalamazoo on December 26th and Indy on New Year's Eve at Fifth Third Field. The regular season is scheduled to conclude on Sunday, April 17th, 2022.
As we consider having all the ECHL teams back into action next season, we talked today with someone who's been on the sidelines this year, but is looking forward to getting back in the fray. We're joined today by Alex Lowe, head coach and director of hockey operations for the Adirondack Thunder. Hi, Alex. Tell us a little bit about your thoughts pertaining to this unusual season.
It's been eye-opening, and it's also put things in a lot of perspective, I think, for myself and a lot of different people. For me personally, the one silver lining is that my wife and I had a daughter in December, so I've been able to be home with her, and I think that's really kept all of us sane. I think if it was just my wife and I sitting at home every day and kind of looking at each other, I might have gone a different way. But with her having the little one here, it gives us all something to focus on.
So when you're not taking care of the little one, what about in terms of hockey? What's been keeping you busy this season?
For me personally, it's just watching the National League a little bit of our league, and just the tactics and systems and stuff like that. When it comes to guys and scouting this year, it's so weird because you're not really sure who's available because it's just one of those weird seasons. So rather than waste a bunch of time scouting and watching video of guys you like, you kind of are just going to wait for seasons to end. For me, it's more talking to people, talking to agents, getting the tactics down, because it allows you to sort of reset and take a bird's eye view of everything. Whereas normally, like, you're going through the grind. You don't have a lot of time to sort of sit back and get a sense of how you want to play, how your team wants to play, and that sort of thing. So it's been a lot of that sort of things. And then now, as the seasons start to wrap up, we'll certainly dive into scouting. I've been talking to people and talking to American League teams and getting a sense on what the process is moving forward. But even they're not signed. Like, NHL free agency is until the end of July, so you got to wait for that whole trickle down to happen. So for me, and then even the college this year is so weird. Like, a lot of guys have that opportunity to play a 5th year. So they're all looking at that too. So even talking to agents, they don't know who's available yet.
So as far as the ECHL is concerned, what are your impressions of the current season?
I mean, I think the usual suspects have been really good. I mean, you see the Floridas and those teams of the world, like they're always going to be good, and it's the same this year. I think for me this year, the difference is that there aren't necessarily those teams that you can count on 2 points against, like you would see in some other years. Like every team is tough to play against. Every team is hard, is going to be a challenge. It's more like the NHL that way. I know the American League is not even really having playoffs. So as their season wraps up, they're going to send these guys down to our league and really stack a roster. So I think that's the biggest thing. Like what happens, you're just trying to get into the playoffs because you never know what's going to happen at that point.
Tell me, have you missed being behind the bench this year?
I mean, you don't miss getting into Maine at 4 a.m. unloading bags, but you certainly miss getting in front of the fan or being in front of the fans and seeing a full building. I mean, and you've been into our building quite a bit. I mean, when you get a decently full crowd at our place, it gets pretty loud and it's really fun. So certainly miss that part of it. Miss being around the players, helping them get better, winning hockey games, all the excitement that goes along with it. I mean, it's been a quiet year. Like I said, it's been a bit of a mental reset, but I definitely am excited to get back at it and really get in front of the players, get in front of the fans, and just have that excitement again.
Alex Lowe, head coach and director of hockey operations for the Adirondack Thunder. Thanks very much for joining us, and look forward to seeing you next season.
Yeah, absolutely. I can't wait, Barry.
For the second time in a week, one player has a really big game. The info is next on ECHL Week.
New buyers can benefit by working with a trusted real estate agent. Will Springer is your trusted advisor for buyers and sellers. For a free consultation or to find an agent in your area of the country, contact Will today.
For the second time this month, one player has scored 4 goals in one game.
Patrick Watling of the Wheeling Nailers will long remember the night of May 8th, when during a game at Jacksonville he scored 4 times and added an assist too. It was the second time in 5 days that a 4-goal performance had taken place in an ECHL game. Watling's assist on Cody Sylvester's power play strike gave Wheeling a 2-1 lead. In short order, Jacksonville tied the game, and Watling put his team on top again. Late in the second period, this goal, his 9th of the season, gave the Nailers a 5-3 lead. In the third period, a power play goal during a 2-man advantage and one into an empty net rounded out the scoring. Watling, second on the team in points, who's played in more than 140 career ECHL games, had never before scored more than twice in one match. It was the first 4-goal game for the Nailers since October of 2017. Earlier in the week, Utah's Travis Barron had also been credited with 4 goals in one game.
Hi, I'm Derek Blomeyer of the Jacksonville Icemen, and you're watching ECHL Week.
A very good crop of highlights for you today. It's the best of the week.
We start best with some rapid-fire wizardry from Florida captain John McCarron. He ties the game with a second to play in the third period. Then, about a minute into overtime, he scores again against South Carolina to win it for the Blades. Here's some more sleight of hand. A forecheck by Orlando's J.J. Pikanich forces an errant pass, and his teammate Michael Joly does the rest. How's that for a backhand goal? Defenseman Blake Hillman of South Carolina shows some excellent hand-eye coordination in knocking this one into the net during an overtime win at Florida.
Gets a lucky bounce, and the Stingrays finish it off here at Hertz 3-2.
This play just begs for a slap shot, and Keone Teixeira of Indy delivers as he racks up the first of his 2 goals during a victory at Fort Wayne.
That goal taken off the board is huge.
The Comets' turn here. Anthony Petrozelli is about as close as one can be to the net prior to putting this one home in a win against the Fuel.
Petrozelli jamming away, he scores! Anthony Petrozelli will pick up the goal. It's a power play goal, 10th of the season for Petrozelli. And the Comets lead it.
Corey Mackin of the Americans does a fine job handling the puck prior to getting in position and scoring an overtime game winner on this backhand shot in a tussle with Tulsa. You don't see many passes like this one by Wichita's Anthony Beauregard, especially when they lead to a goal. Stefan Fournier is the beneficiary of the delivery from the ECHL's leading scorer, and he makes it count in a victory at Kansas City. And we've left some time for the goaltenders. First, Charles Williams of Jacksonville puts his left leg pad into action for a stop in a win over Wheeling. Finally, Greenville's John Lethemann's right pad keeps the Solar Bears off the board in a game which the Swamp Rabbits won in overtime.
That brings us to the end of another ECHL Week episode. Thanks for watching. Make sure to follow us on all of our social media channels. You can keep up to date on everything in the ECHL, including all the playoff races, and they're going to go right down to the wire. You know it. See you next time. Take care.